I am going to help you make decisions and commit to them. Learn how to navigate difficult conversations and say no without guilt. Let's begin by building your inner strength. Welcome. I'm Angela Dryden, your life coach. Well, hello, my friends. How are you guys doing out there? I hope you're doing fantastic. For those that are here, welcome. For those who are new that haven't been here before, welcome. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you enjoy the content that I'm going to share today. Today, I want to talk about two words that one of them is actually my word for this year. So I've decided to declare a word for the year. I know lots of people do, and I've never really done it before, but I decided, something kind of resonated in me, and I felt like this is my word. This is something I would love to be able to contribute to the world, and that is value. So value is my word this year. I want to add value to people's lives. I want to add value out into this world. I want to add value that attracts the people that are looking for me to help them coach. I want to add value. And so I want to do it from a place of just pure intent and just with love. And so for me, I'm like, that's my word. I want to add value to this world. So that is my word for this year. Now, the other word kind of has a little bit to do with value as well, and that is worth. So I want to talk about worth, and I want to talk about value. Now, before I dive into worth and value, I want to ask you a couple of questions. When you think of worth and value, do you see them as being separate, or do you see them as being the same? Is there similarities that you see with worth and value? And is there differences with worth and value? And what does that look like for you? And I want you to get clear on that, because really that's why I'm making this video here, is that to really help you form clarity around worth and value. Because when I started to form clarity around worth and value, it really impacted my life and helped me see people from a different vantage point. And so that is why I'm making this video, because I want to share that with you. And if you feel like worth and value kind of get a little muggy, that things get a little mixed up, that you're not sure if somebody's worthless or worthy, if it's valuable or not valuable, like what does that look like for you? If you're feeling a little blurry with that, you are in the right place. This is a great video for you to watch today. So this is really good content for you. All right, so there's my question on that. So I want to dive first into worth. And when it comes to worth, there is a couple of questions that kind of come to mind. When it comes to worth, and when you're looking at your worth and how you can determine your worth, these two questions come to mind is, why am I here when it comes to worth? And the second question is, what is my purpose? So why am I here and what is my purpose? Those are kind of human questions as human beings that we usually find ourselves asking at some time in our life, or at different stages in our lives as well, right? Different seasons that we go in. So why am I here and what is my purpose? Now, I want to ask those questions when it comes to worth, because for me, when I aligned myself with a higher power, in a sense that helped me to see that because I believe that something is bigger than me, like I believe that there's something more than just us as humans here on earth and what we're doing. I believe there's something solid and bigger than me. What happened is that when I saw that, I saw like strings coming out to here, and that we are all connected, and that I'm connected to everybody as well. And because I started seeing the world that way, it helped me kind of illuminate myself to the idea that we are all 100% worthy, just as we are, because we are here on planet Earth. We are here in an ecosystem, in a time, in a place, on this earth, during a time where there's so many advancements of things, there are so much stuff. We are 100% worthy. We are here. And because we are here and 100% worthy, to me, that just helps me see everybody as that they are 100% worthy, that they don't have to do anything to be more worthy. And so for me, that kind of helped me just see people in that light, that they don't have to prove anything to me. I don't have to prove anything to me. I get to just be me. They get to just be them. And I can see them. And for me, it's a love thing as well. Like I can love them. They're 100% worthy. They don't have to do a thing. And because I was able to make that connection, for me, my higher power is God. So for me, that's it. It might be the universe, whatever that is for your higher power, that solidness, that foundation that you just feel like it's just solid. How are you connected to that? What does that mean to you as an individual? And for me, I believe that it's 100% worthy whether or not they believe in God that I believe in. That people don't even have to do that. I believe they're already 100% worthy without ever having to believe in something more or higher. For me, that just aligned myself to give me a connection that felt solid. And because that helped me feel solid in myself, it just helped me kind of clarify that everybody else is 100% worthy, that would just make sense. So when you kind of connect to your identity of self, of why you're here, asking those questions, that can be very helpful in seeing worth and how worth shows up in your life. So that's how it shows up in mine. I believe I'm 100% worthy. I believe everybody on this earth, everybody that was and is on this earth is 100% worthy. They don't have to do a thing. Now I want to bounce over to value, because value can be a little more complicated in a way. But once you kind of get clear with worth, I'm hoping that as you're kind of seeing that you can kind of feel like, yeah, if I was to believe that, I'm hoping that by the end of this, you could see that while finding what it is that works for you there, as far as the worthiness part, that it can really help clear up value a little bit more for you. So I want to go back to times of kindergarten or grade school. And when we look at that, it kind of forms how we become adults, because we have ideas that this is what, I go to school, then I go to college, then I get a vocation, I do a job, a career, a family, whatever that looks like, right? So we have this idea and concept of our life. And when we talk about our purpose, we feel like we're kind of trying to find our purpose during this process as well. And so if that is the case, then, and if we're 100% worthy, when we're going to school and we're learning how to read, when we're learning skills, and when we learn a skill, what happens is within us, we start to have more self-esteem, right? We feel good because we're learning something, we're capable of learning. I know how to do this. I know how to do this next thing. I can now add. I can now write stories. I can read a book. So we grow in our skill set through school. And this is where I think it gets a little murky, is that we then somehow, some way, we start to add worth to our value. And we start to fuse those things together. And we think that because we're adding value, we're marking off these things on the list that we need to be accomplishing and doing, we are now more worthy. And then some people are not as worthy as us. And I want to challenge you on that. Is that true? Or is that you now got to add value into your world? People added value, whatever it was, and now you have this value. But if you believe everybody's already 100% worthy, what do you want to do with that value? Do you want to add it again into the world? Do you want to make a career out of it? Do you want to advance in different places because now you know how to read, or now you know how to do math? And you find that within those things that you're learning, you're finding things that are resonating more with you. So you're wanting to go in that direction of whatever kind of career you might want to be going into. And that's kind of like that self-discovery when we're younger. And this is where kind of that value gets a little mushy, because we think that the star on the paper, now my parents are proud of me, so now I'm worth more. No, you're not. You're already 100% worthy before you got that star on your paper. You just got a star on your paper because you learned a new skill set. And while learning this skill set, you may have grown in self-esteem. You may start to feel better about yourself. You start to trust yourself in the ways in which you show up in the world. And now, because you're doing that, your worth doesn't change. But you can decide now if you want to add that value in different ways in your life to other people. That doesn't make you more valuable unless the people receiving on the other end find that to be valuable. And that's where I'm talking about that worth and value. Because all as a life coach, some of the things that I coach on is people that maybe are retiring, and so they've stopped doing a work that they've done for a long time, and they kind of start to fuse their worth and value together. That they're more worthy. Like, now what am I going to do with myself? I don't have anything to add to this world. Well, your worth is still the same. You're already 100% worthy. What do you want to do? And that's where I'm like, I feel like we just need to be more clear with our kids, with people that we love. Like, when somebody asks us, well, why do you love me? You could say, you could make a list of things, but then that just adds to the value category. Or you could say, well, you're 100% worthy because I believe all human beings are, and I choose to love you. It's not what you do or don't do. It's because I've chosen to love you. And that feels so different. It starts to feel cleaner inside for you. And then you don't attach it to the value somebody adds. Instead, you see them just as 100% worthy. Now, don't get me wrong. I want to explore this too with value, is that there are things that people add into my life that I find more valuable than others. Absolutely, 100%. That doesn't mean that their worth has changed. It just means that I now find more value in that. And for whatever reason, they created this content, they did something, they created this new ability to do something, right? They created the computer, the internet, the YouTube, whatever it is, they created these things, and I find them valuable, so I use them. Now, the people that did it, they're not more worthy. But they created value that I found valuable, so now I use. Because some people might not find it valuable. They might not find it useful. They might find it more confusing and more difficult. And that's okay too. And that's what I'm saying is when we are learning skill sets as a kid growing up, and as an adult, we're learning new things, that value we're learning, we're contributing to the world, like whether we make a piece of jewelry, whether we make things with our hands, right? Crafts with our hands, or we sell a house, or whether we help people with their retirement, whatever that value is that we're adding to the world, somebody is going to find value in that, and they're going to purchase it based on the value they believe that you are being clear with of how you're going to help them and serve them. And they're seeing value in it, so they purchase that. Now, that doesn't mean your worth is more important. Now, your value as a person could improve to that person that's purchasing it, but your worth has not. Somebody might find you more valuable. Like, some people might see this content and go, oh my gosh, this girl, she shares this information. It's so valuable. I find it so valuable. That's great. I'm glad that you do. And that's, like I said, that's kind of my word this year. I want to add value to this world. But my worth doesn't change because you found this more valuable. You found it more valuable. I'm grateful for that. And I'm going to go continually out making more things and adding more value into this world. Not because I have to prove my worth to this world, but because I want to add value to this world. Now, do you see the difference in kind of the way that I'm presenting that right there? Just that clarity, that understanding. And when we get clear with ourselves, what happens is we don't have to like hurry up, or we don't have to try to prove anything. Instead, we just get to be us. And I think when you get to be who you are, then you get to actually show up in a way that feels real to you. And you get to add the value you want to add. And then it becomes more connecting to other people because they see value in it based on that's a value that's answering their call, what they needed to see, what they needed to hear. Their worth didn't improve, my worth didn't improve, but the value out there was a connection. There was a connection there. And that's something that I really want to strive when I am working with clients. If that is something that you struggle with, even maybe listening to this, you're kind of like, I kind of see some of what she's saying, but I don't think that's true. And that's okay. You don't have to think that's true right now. Absolutely. And maybe you won't ever think it's true. But what I want to do is I want to challenge you to look at value and worth, and how maybe sometimes if things are getting crossed, that your relationships aren't feeling as fulfilling as you would like them to be. Your connections with your children feel like It's based on what they do and if they prove if you're proud of them or not proud of them. Those are some things to keep in mind for yourself that'll help you see, how do I want to view value and worth? Because I get to view it any way that I want to, but it's got to be clear to you. It's got to make sense to you, and it's got to be something that resonates with you. All right, my friends. My goal is that this was valuable to you, that you found great content in here. Share it with a friend. Share it with someone that you believe could really benefit from this information. And I look forward to making another video next week and sharing that with you as well. Until then, take care of you. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. This next step is easy. Book your free discovery call at www.angeladryden.com today. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and share this information with a friend. Until next time, take care of you.